We got Fresno State going on the road to take on Colorado State. It's a Friday night matchup, 7 p.m. Mountain Time on CBS Sports Net. Fresno State opens up at 6.5-point favorites. The over/under on this game is 45.5. I could see this game being much higher than that. I know Fresno State's coming off a close matchup against Nevada, but it was a game where they scored 20 points in the second quarter and sort of just didn't do much the rest of the game. But when you look at where Colorado State's at, you really have just no faith in whatever they're trying to figure out right now. It's just been messy, multiple quarterbacks, and none of it's worked out so far. Fresno State's 5-1 right now, 2-0 in Mountain West play. Meanwhile, Colorado State, they're 1-4, 0-1 in Mountain West play. Too much uncertainty at the quarterback position. You really just wouldn't want to rely on that. Meanwhile, E.J. Warner, season started off rocky for him, but he's been playing well the past 3-4 weeks. Just really finding his own game, and the running game they've been able to rely on, whether it's been E.J. Warner extending plays with his feet, or it's been Rayshawn Luke, or it's been Bryson Donaldson. It's just been reliable, and the defense has done just enough keeping them positive in their possessions. Colorado State, they started off being able to stay within games, and it's gotten worse every week. It seems like since that stolen victory from Northern Colorado, they've gone on a losing skid that's just looked worse and worse. A close loss to UTSA, bad loss to Washington State, and an even worse loss to San Diego State just this last week. Meanwhile, for Fresno State, they've been rolling hot ever since that loss to Kansas. They've come into their own. They've been on a 5-game win streak. They've looked a little bit better every week. They've mostly been close games, but they've found a way to come out with the win at the end. E.J. Warner really has been playing his best football. 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns. He did have 6 picks, but most of those have come in the first couple of weeks. They've really been able to rely on Donaldson and Luke much more as the season's progressed. As for the Rams, they've done their best. I think they've really relied on the running game thus far, and the passing's been so inconsistent that it's sort of held them back the past few weeks. They've gone from Fowler Nicolosi to Jackson Broussard, and up until this last game, they've relied on Darius Curry. You really just don't know what direction they're going towards, what Jay Norvell and that staff is thinking. The good news is, they're only 0-1 in the conference play. The rest of the way, if they can scrape out some decent wins, they can salvage the season. The bad news, they're averaging just under 19 points per game compared to Fresno State, who's averaging about 32 points per game. They were also -2 on the turnover game, where Fresno State's +2 on the turnover game. Seeing how Fresno State's been in close games all year, I could very much well see this being another close game on the road, taking on sort of a unpredictable team in Colorado State. I see both teams looking to establish the running game early on, and if E.J. Warner could get something going on later on with the passing game, that's great, but I think they really lean towards the running game on this one. He'll probably use his feet, use his mobility a little bit more. Despite the uncertainty for the Rams at quarterback, they can rely on their running game. They can rely on Jalen Dupree and relied on Lloyd Avant. It's funny that the quarterbacks, no matter who it's been for the Rams this season, they really haven't got too many turnovers, not too many interceptions, not as compared to E.J. Warner, but really the difference is the sacks. Their quarterbacks have been pressured all year long. 14 sacks compared to 8 for Fresno State against their quarterback. This has all the makings of a grind them out, run the ball type game. Until we see otherwise, you really just can't rely on Colorado State, offensively or defensively to stop it when it counts. I favor Fresno State in this game. I think it's going to be close. That's just the way the Bulldogs have been playing it this season. It's Fresno State going on the road to take on Colorado State. It's a Friday matchup, 7 p.m. Mountain Time on CBS Sports Net. Be sure to check this one out. Our first matchup of Saturday for Mountain West teams, we got Air Force going on the road to take on UNLV. It's a 1:30 Mountain Time game on CBS Sports Net. UNLV comes in this game 7-point favorites. The over-under in this game is 67.5. They're predicting a high-scoring affair. UNLV just plays good football. They've been playing good football the past 3 weeks. Close matchups, blowouts, they've just got it done no matter whether it's been on the ground with the running game or it's been Calandra through the air. Meanwhile, Air Force, they may be the best 1-4 team in the country right now because despite them being 0-3 in Mountain West play, they've been in close matchups, and they just haven't been able to squeak them out. Whether it's been Utah State, whether it's been Boise State, whether it's been Navy up into last weekend, just they've remained in the game through the very final stretches, but they just can't finish it out. Or I think they've sort of let themselves get out distance early on, and now they're crawling their way back. And in their case, it just has not worked out for them. Liam Sarka's been their everything man the past 2 weeks specifically. He's got 850 yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 picks on the season. He's got 448 yards rushing and 6 rushing touchdowns. Sort of their Swiss Army knife. Meanwhile, Calandra, he's had a pretty good season so far. 1,042 yards, 9 touchdowns, 3 picks on the season. Jaden Thomas, 489 yards, 5 touchdowns on the season. They have a really balanced offense right now. They can air it out. They can rely on the running game. Calandra's been so great with his feet. His elusiveness has really helped them out extending plays. As good as their offense has been, really it's an underappreciated defense. Despite them being in some close matchups and teams scoring more than they'd like to, their defense makes stops, key stops that swing the momentum shift towards UNLV, allows their offense to sort of ease back and trust themselves a little bit more with that defense. One of the few undefeated teams left in the country. I just don't see UNLV, every week in Mountain West play could be a hurdle, but I don't see it coming against Air Force this weekend. 7-point favorites. It seems kind of light. I feel like they're going to separate themselves, and it could be a 2-3 touchdown type of game. As far as the over-under, I don't know. I could see them scoring a lot of points. 67.5, that's a lot of points. The key is if UNLV can contain Zarka, they're not going to be able to do much. If they sort of let him have his way and let him put up 100-plus yards rushing, it could be a close matchup for sure for the Rebels. A team that's putting up 38 points per game in UNLV, and they're +9 on the turnover game. I mean, their defense again stops, and their offense is limiting mistakes as best as they can. Meanwhile, Air Force, they're averaging about 39 points per game, but the difference there is their teams are outscoring them by 45, 50 points. So they can put up some points, but they can't really, at least haven't shown to be able to stop anybody this season. They're -1 on the turnover game. I think it's possible that UNLV could slip up sometime this season, but I don't think it's coming to the Air Force Falcons. I don't know if it's going to be a close game. I think Air Force puts up a fight, but the way UNLV's been playing of late, I think they get him out of it early. It's Air Force going on to take on UNLV. It's a 1:30 Mountain Time game on CBS Sportsnet. Be sure to check this one out. We got a good matchup. Battle of 2 and 3 teams. We got San Jose State going on the road to take on Wyoming. It's a 5 p.m. Mountain Time game on CBS Sportsnet. 2 and 3 teams. Wyoming started the season off, 2-0, scrape them out type games, just winning by any means necessary. Meanwhile, San Jose State start off the season, pretty ugly, has come into their own the past couple of weeks. Win against Idaho, and then an impressive win against New Mexico this last weekend. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be Wyoming's defense taking on San Jose State's offense that's seemingly been able to find their passing game and also been able to rely on effective run play. Walker Eget, 1,500 yards, 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, a chunk of that coming in the past 2 wins for him. He's really been able to find a way to air it out and find his targets effectively. Meanwhile, Caden Anderson, 965 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's been rather reliable. Between Samuel Harris and Sam Scott in the running game. It's been an improving Wyoming offense. For some reason, they just don't seem to be a first half team this season. In the second half, they come on strong, tighten up their game. Usually by then, it's too late. Their defense has been pretty stout, flying to the ball. So it's going to be interesting how that works for San Jose State, trying to establish themselves early on, throwing the ball. San Jose State comes in this game 1.5 point favorites. The over-under on this game is 49.5. It feels like it's going to be a close matchup. San Jose State, despite what they've done the past couple of weeks, we know that they can fall back and resort to some sloppy play. Meanwhile, Wyoming, they've gotten a little bit better. I think the key is they just can't let themselves get out of this game early on and have to find a way to come back from a 14-plus point deficit. Who knows if it's another snowy matchup in Laramie. It may favor the Cowboys, and I think if they could get some turnovers on Walker Egan, it's definitely going to swing in their favor, but they can't let him play the way he's been the past couple of weeks. He's been airing it out, completion after completion, 700-plus yards, 6-7 touchdowns the past couple of weeks. If Wyoming lets him do that, I don't think they're going to be anywhere near able to come back late in the fourth quarter. And if Wyoming can run the ball effectively and just sort of control possession and kill that clock, give San Jose State as few possessions as possible, it's definitely going to help them keep things a little bit more close. We do know San Jose State, the past few weeks, they've been able to score quickly. So if this is the perfect week for Wyoming offense to really shine and prove that they can help out their defense a little bit and put some points on the board early and often. Despite being halfway through this season, we're just getting underway on conference play, and it's still anybody's game how it can turn up for the standings. One team 1-0, the other team 0-1 on Mountain West play. This is a great time to sort of either keep the momentum going for San Jose State or for Wyoming to really get a hold of this and start making a run in Mountain West play. It's San Jose State going on the road, take on Wyoming. It's a 5 p.m. Mountain Time game on CBS Sportsnet. Be sure to check this one out. We got two teams coming off of rather disappointing losses last weekend. It's New Mexico going on the road, take on Boise State. Both teams 3-2 on the season. It's a 7:45 p.m. Mountain Time game on FS1. Things definitely didn't go the way they were hoping to for both teams. New Mexico, suffering a 35-28 loss against San Jose State. Boise State taking a 7-28 loss in South Bend against Notre Dame. Both quarterbacks played, horribly. Jack Lane had 3 picks. Maddox Matson had 4 picks. Neither one had touchdowns throwing the ball. And still, both teams get to sort of recollect and come back and look to rebound this weekend in Week 7. Jack Lane, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns, 6 picks on the season. Damon Bankston emerges their number one running back, 289 yards, 3 touchdowns on the season. Meanwhile, Maddox Matson, 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns, 5 picks on the season. Dalen Riley, 393 yards, 5 touchdowns. Offensively, neither team was able to do much. New Mexico way more effective compared to Boise State against Notre Dame. I think for the Lobos, it was just a lot of mistakes and a defense that really couldn't hold San Jose State at all. Boise State, everyone knew they're probably sort of out of reach in that game against Notre Dame, but still, 4 picks definitely doesn't help keeping a game close or competitive. Boise State opens up at 16-point favorites. The over-under on this game is 59. The way New Mexico played, at least in that third quarter, it would be safe to say that Boise State's going to have their way with them, but they came on in the fourth quarter strong, got it down to a 1-touchdown game. If they could limit those mistakes, it could be a much more competitive matchup. As for Boise State, they could be more dominant if they didn't have 4 picks from Matson and just any sort of turnovers that take away from their offense. Both teams are averaging around 30 points per game. The huge difference is New Mexico's -7 on the turnover game. Meanwhile, Boise State's +2. If the Lobos have to have any chance of staying in this game against Boise State, they're going to have to limit those turnovers. Mistakes in general. Boise State will capitalize on them, and Maddox Matson, and they're going to be able to get the running game going way more effectively than a week ago. For New Mexico, it doesn't feel like any game's really out of reach. It's just going to be, it's up to them to limit those turnovers and mistakes. And I don't know, they may have to switch up their play calling a bit. Those halfback draws up the middle 2-3 times in a row just hasn't been working whatsoever. Jack Lane has been looking skittish, trying to get the ball off quick, and he hasn't got any help from his receivers. They've been dropping a lot of balls, and you definitely seem like there's a lack of trust there in the passing game of late. Definitely on paper, Boise State should be favored. Just they're still one of the top dogs in the Mountain West, and it's gonna be a competitive game. I don't know if you would ever count out New Mexico. The way they've been playing, despite a loss to San Jose State and the way they did, I think they come back much more prepared, willing to take on Boise State. I could see a close game. If New Mexico can limit those turnovers, it's gonna be a close matchup, and it could be a toss-up type game. Definitely Boise State should be favored in this, just off of talent alone. I think it's gonna come down to good coaching and disciplined players. It's Mountain West play, so anything can happen. I see New Mexico keeping it competitive. Great matchup on your Saturday night. New Mexico going on to take on Boise State. It's a 7:45 Mountain Time game on FS1. Be sure to check this one out. We got San Diego State going on the road to take on Nevada. It's an 8:30 Mountain Time game on CBS Sportsnet. San Diego State 4-1 on the season, 1-0 in conference play. Meanwhile, Nevada 1-4 in the season, 0-1 in conference play. San Diego State comes in this 6.5-point favorites. The over/under is 42. If it's gonna be a close game, I'd be surprised. San Diego State's just way more reliable from what we've seen than Nevada. I question if Chubba Purdy's going to be starting or even playing any more football for the Wolfpack going forward. Jaden Denigal, 892 yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 picks on the season. Quality ball, hasn't been asked to do too much. Lucky Sutton, 450 yards, 5 touchdowns on the season. He's been their go-to guy. Chubba Purdy, 494 yards, 1 touchdown, 8 interceptions, passing the ball. He's got 292 yards running and 2 rushing touchdowns. Does Purdy get the start next week? I'd be surprised if it is. It feels like Carter Jones is going to be their guy going forward after what he was able to do. Score a couple times in the final stretches against Fresno State's loss last weekend. With the QB switch, is that enough to sort of turn around Nevada? I don't know if it is, but it could be a step in the right direction. Team just averaging under 18 points per game in Nevada, -5 on the turnover game. Meanwhile, San Diego State 30 points per game, +2 on turnover ratio. You could just rely on them to be more sound defensively, and offense to do just enough to get in the end zone and limit mistakes. The fact that Nevada's had such a tough time scoring this season, and now they're going to face probably one of the best, if not best, defenses in the Mountain West in San Diego State. It just does not look good for the Wolfpack. Meanwhile, San Diego State, you can rely on them, what they've done so far in this season. A couple of shutout games for them. So the defense is strong. Offense, it's been pretty good with Denegal under center, and Lucky Sutton, Caldwell Jr., and Washington, all effective backs, and grind them out and tire that defense. And a team like Nevada could get overwhelmed with that type of offense. I like San Diego State in this game, and I don't know how close it'll be. Maybe it'll be closer with a new quarterback playing better football, but I feel like San Diego State sort of gets them out of here, late in the second half. It's San Diego State going on the road to take on Nevada. It's an 8:30 Mountain Time game on CBS Sportsnet. Be sure to check this one out. We end our Saturday night action with Utah State going on to take on Hawaii. It's a 9:59 Mountain Time game. It's going to be on Mountain West Network. Definitely one of the more intriguing matchups on Saturday and of the weekend. You got Hawaii, 2.5-point favorites, going on to take a Utah State team that's really questionable at the quarterback position right now. We don't know if Bryson Barnes gets a start. It may be a game-time decision. If not, it'll be Jacob Conover, who came in the final minutes in their last game, played well. Hawaii 2.5-point favorites. The over/under on this game is 58.5. Bryson Barnes has definitely been their star. 1,100 yards passing, 11 touchdowns, 1 interception on the season. He had another 245 yards, 6 touchdowns running the ball. Miles Davis is their leading carrier, 314 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns on the season. As for Hawaii, it's been Micah Alihada, 1,043 yards passing, 6 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions on the season. Landon Sims, 241 yards, a rushing score in the season. Both these teams have reliable receivers. Pofele Ashlock for Hawaii, 355 yards receiving, 3 receiving touchdowns. And for Utah State, it's been Braden Pagan, Bryson Barnes' go-to guy, 369 yards receiving, 4 touchdowns. Utah State 3-2 on the season, 1-0 in Mountain West play. Meanwhile, Hawaii 4-2 on the season, 1-1 in conference play. This has the makings of just an all-time matchup. It's a shame that's not on national televised channel. Utah State averaging 36 points per game. They're +2 on the turnover game. Meanwhile, Hawaii averaging about 25 points per game. They're -7 on their turnover ratio. Still competitive at home. Alihado, after dealing with a little bit of injury, has come back strong and looked his best against Air Force. Truly hoping that Bryson Barnes is healthy and back in action this weekend against this tough Hawaii team. It could be fireworks, just exchanging a bunch of scores. The uncertainty at quarterback is what leans me to favor Hawaii a bit in this game. I can see why it's 2.5-point field goal type game. If Barnes is healthy and looking like his usual self, then I would have to lean towards Utah State because that offense looks so good with him under center. I think Conover did a good job with sort of cleanup duty last weekend, but will he be able to be as effective? I know Barnes with that running, that mobility, it's a whole different ballpark for the Aggies compared to if he's not there. Hawaii, tough Hawaii team so far. They're looking as strong as I thought they were. 4-2, 2 games away from bowl eligibility. This really is a toss-up game. I'm hoping everyone's healthy for it and put on a show, have some good football to end our Saturday matchups. It's Utah State going on to take on Hawaii. It's a 9:59 Mountain Time game on Mountain West Network. Be sure to check this one out.